More so even than that, I think there's a lot of people who would hesitate to say "I love you" because they're afraid of what those words how those words will be taken by another person.
Yeah, they're powerful words, and they expose you to a whole lot. I mean, you're now vulnerable if somebody wants to do something like hurt you or take advantage of that love. These women, you know, they were strong and they were courageous and valiant women, and they proclaimed their love. They probably had heard it from me first, or maybe they hadn't. Or, you know what? I don't even know. I don't have a generalization. All I know is they felt, they felt, they felt like they could say they loved me, and I think they knew that they knew that I think that they knew that I. Start over. These women felt comfortable saying they loved me. More power to them. I mean,
Well, we'll edit that bit.
right on, sister. You know,
Any women that feel like saying they love me too, more power to them too.
look, this is a tough. This is off the record. Do not print this. This is tough because, and I'm trying to actually tell you, Alejandro, because you don't really know me.
Because
You
he
think this
doesn't
guy's
know,
full
and
of
that's
shit.
That freshness that I was talking
No,
about
actually,
that I didn't
this
want
guy's
to
full of
lose.
shit.
Oh,
This guy, I'm full of shit, yeah. But
Buddy,
that's why I
they
was
love
afraid
me, all right?
of talking to you too much before, because I wanted you to still be able to convince me, because you know I believe it now, and now you're not
Right.
convincing me anymore. In fact, I'm wondering if I believe it anymore.
are you true? You're full
No,
of
I'm
shit.
baiting you. I'm
Okay.
baiting you.
You know, I see. The thing is, I don't want to go into the whole sacred prostitute thing and what the astrologer said and all that
Why
because
not?
So let's get to the nitty gritty. Which letter hurt you the most? Which letter do you?
Ooh.
Which letter do you relish the most?
well, it's hard to say. There's so many, and there's so many, and they're from so many complicated relationships. I mean, the best letters came from a woman who betrayed me terribly, and left me. I don't know if you realize it, but I think as many as 19 women left me and went directly to marriage.
You're that guy.
I prepared these women for their next chapter in their life.
You know what I mean? No, I think like they've done like comedy shows about that. Like you're the guy who dates before they all get married.
Well, all right, I might as well broach the subject. It was made apparent to me that I am the sacred prostitute.
Now you have to explain what that is.
Okay.
It's an archetype.
I went
Yeah, I
to
figured it.
I went to an astrologer woman who I had seen a few times, and she asked me how I was doing and what was going on, and I was in a slump at the time, an emotional slump. I was reeling from a broken relationship, and so she started to ask me questions about my relationships with women, etc. After I told her a number of things, I remember this moment. In fact, I have it on tape. She taped all our interviews. And this was a 3-hour one that I was involved in. And on the tape, she just sort of paused for a minute. She had this moment of realization, and she looked at me and she said, "You're a sacred prostitute." And then she said, "And I've never told that to any man ever. I tell it to women occasionally." And what she explained was that sacred prostitutes come from the mythological times, or the times when mythology was around, Greek and/or Roman. Typically, a woman was a sacred prostitute who resided in the temple and took in the men who came back from these horrific wars, and they rehabilitated them, and they loved them, they soothed them, and they sent them back out to be productive members of society. When she heard that the women leave me, and that how I genuinely love them, and then regardless of what shape they came to me in, and there's been some real bad women in some real bad shape that have come to me, and frankly, I loved them. I didn't really care, and I can characterize it. I don't really want to go into it, but I mean, I've gotten some real wrecks in my life, But to me, that was my girl, and I didn't care. And what would happen is I would love him to death, and they'd still go out and marry some guy right after me. She put it all together. She said, that's the perfect description of a sacred prostitute. You love them for who they are at that moment. You give them everything you got. It's all unbridled, and it's unselfish. And then they take it all and they go. And this has happened so many times. It starts to be a bit of a phenomenon, and you know,
It starts to be a bit of a pattern.
it's a pattern. It's a pattern.
It's a phenomenal pattern, actually.
It's phenomenal, this pattern. And you know what? I don't consciously do anything to break that pattern. I'm almost naive in that I just accept the next customer that comes in, and you know, that's it. Maureen.
See, there you would. People don't pick up girls at the beach anymore. I don't think they do. Maybe teenagers do.
I met her at the DMB.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry, not the DMB, the EDD.
Oh, what's the EDD?
The Employment Development Department.
Oh.
We're both looking for a job.
Oh, that's great. She worked at Guns and Ammo. Is that a letter from her?
Oh, yeah.
That's her handwriting, and she works at Guns and Ammo.
Well, this was much later. These letters were written in '78. That Guns and Ammo letter was 5 years later.
You know, part of what fascinates me so much about these letters is the handwriting. Because I don't know, you know, I was in a long relationship with one woman for a long, long time. In the early stages of our relationship, and especially when we were both kind of traveling a little bit, we exchanged letters then. So I have letters in her handwriting. I think I have like one 7-page letter there, maybe a couple others. Yeah, but I don't have any others. But that's a side effect probably of me being. But what I don't think people have enough of are these handwritten letters, because everyone just sends email and text messages. And my personal theory is that every time you add an intermediary in your communication, if you're one-on-one like this, where you're reading my body language and a lot of other things, and we are forced to be completely engaged. But if I'm talking to you on my cell phone driving my car, you don't know what I'm doing. I mean, you hear my voice, and I have to control my intonation and express to you vocally something that you can read into. But we've taken away certain information. You remove it again if you write a letter, because now you've lost tone of voice. But what you gain now is this personality evoked in the handwriting. So there's a little bit more information than if you were to just type a letter or to send a text message on a phone. And so the theory I have is that we need to do more of this stuff, because we're not really communicating with each other, even though we think we're just a few button presses away from real connection with somebody, but we're not even close.
You're right.
We were closer when it took longer.
Yeah. This was a great way to communicate. I mean, certainly the handwriting does show an inner self. It reveals a lot about the person, the way they phrase things, the way things are written, the way it's punctuated, the way it's. I mean, look, here's the word sensitive underlined. Mm-hmm. The misspellings. You know, you've got spell checker now. It says,
why can't you be more sensitive?
No. No one has ever been so knowing sensitive to what I feel.
Oh.
Wait. I want to make sure you got that.
It says, Gary, if only you were more sensitive.
No one has ever been so knowing sensitive to what I feel. Sure, sometimes I feel like crawling in a, what the heck does that say?
A hole.
In a hole and drowning in my problems. But with you, I had no anxieties. I see myself opening doors that have been locked a very long time, and I have you to thank. Thank you. Mm-hmm.